you've probably seen this. You had to have seen it. We're going to touch on something really quick because the Phillies are making a little bit of noise at the MLB draft. Just a little bit, not a ton. Nothing crazy is happening yet. Nothing crazy is happening across the board at this point. But the Phillies did something on Sunday that caught the attention of the baseball world, and they kept it going today, where they got maybe the best value pick. Now, they started off the draft taking Gage Wood, and Gage Wood is a guy who threw a no-hitter. He's a guy who a lot of people, for whatever reason, seem to believe is going to somehow end up in the Phillies bullpen in October. I can't imagine that it's going to happen, but weirder things have happened. Earlier this summer, June 16th, Gage Wood struck out 19 batters and threw a no-hitter. And so now everybody's going, all right, you have this bona fide stud who's going to make his way to the Phillies, and can they convert him from being a starter to a reliever and take what is some truly great stuff? I think it was his whiff percentage, right? Opposing batters' whiff percentage was around 46% against Gage Wood on the fastball versus 18% or something whiff percentage across college baseball. It's a wild number. So there's something about that fastball that's special. There have also been these things thrown out that he's got a little bit more to his game than you might expect. Does he have the mental makeup? Does he have the ability to step in right away and be a contributor in a bullpen that absolutely, desperately needs it? It's possible. Now, a lot of people, again, started getting very much in their own thoughts, in their heads, that like this is going to be the guy that's going to save the day. Dave Dombrowski, even if he underwhelms, right? Even if he's a total disaster at the trade deadline, we'll find out what's going to happen with Dave Dombrowski. What will happen with the lovely fella? Is he going to be okay? Is he going to be able to figure out a way to get somebody in here via trade? It might not matter. If you are a big believer in Gage Wood, you might have convinced yourself that he's going to somehow be like a seventh inning guy. And maybe he will be. Weirder things have happened. But the real surprise thus far is that the Phillies have taken all pitchers. I mean, every pick. I believe their first 9 picks of the draft have all been pitchers. And there's one guy that was especially of note. Now, you guys know that around the NHL draft, I said I didn't watch a ton of games from Matthew Schaefer or from Jack Nesbitt or even Roger McQueen, who didn't play that many games in college anyway. And I wasn't watching Eklund play, and I wasn't watching Frondell play, and I couldn't have told you about the ins and outs and every little nuance of James Hagan's game, right? And about Porter Martone. I'm certainly not going to try to tell you that I have any idea whatsoever is going on in the world of baseball prospects. But I will defer to somebody who seems to be pretty damn dialed in on players, and a guy that is viewed as somebody who actually does know what he's talking about when it comes to scouting. And it's a guy who has been a senior writer for MLB Pipeline. He's a guy that you see on your TV quite a bit. He broke down over on the MLB Network the Phillies' choice in the 7th round today. The Phillies took Matthew Fisher in the 7th round with the 221st overall pick. And the reason that I bring it up is because that is significantly below value. Like, this guy was not expected to be a 7th round pick. And on the big board that Callis put together, he was nowhere close to 221. This was not a reach. This was like a blessing. This was a player that fell significantly. And so I'm actually going to bring up Jim Callis' take and why he's in love with this pick for the Phillies at, again, 221st overall, 7th round pick. Let's learn a little bit about Matthew Fisher, because obviously Gage Wood's going to get the most conversation. But let's hear about Matthew Fisher. You can see here, 2025 Gatorade Indiana Player of the Year.
This is a super interesting pick here, because this is a guy we thought could go in the sandwich round, and at least I didn't jinx myself this year. I'm not expecting, this is a 7-figure guy. This guy's not signing cheap. The Phillies obviously, have some money. They figured out what it was going to take to sign Matthew Fisher. This is a steal in terms of talent. I mean, this guy was a number 46 on our list. High spin fastball up to 95. He's got slider and curveball spin rates, aptitude for a changeup. I mean, it's a 4-pitch guy, 6'3", 200 pounds. Like I said, I mean, this guy could have been a top 40 pick yesterday. Great get for the Phillies.
So there's this idea that this guy could be a 4-pitch pitcher. There's this idea out there that the Phillies must have figured out what it was going to take to sign him, which certainly makes it sound like there's going to be some actual money that needs to be involved in getting this guy into the organization, get him to actually sign. Hence why, I guess, he fell to the 7th round. But that's a hell of a value pick. We always talk about the idea that, like, sometimes, for whatever reason, a guy just happens to fall to you at a given position, and it works. And for whatever reason, this guy who was supposed to be, what was it, number 46, I think he said, overall on their big board, he falls to 221. You would hope that you know what it's going to take to bring the guy into the fold. So that's an exciting update from the Phillies. That's an exciting update from the draft. But again, 9 picks. They've all been pitchers. Also, what does that tell you about their belief in their position players and that pipeline going forward? That's interesting.